I'm Mandy Pryor, and welcome to the Southwestern PA Business Podcast, where we have a very exciting guest on today. Joe Verduci of Brentwood Bank is here, and you've probably seen him on here before, but we're going to catch up on all things banking and all things that we need to know about what's going on to help your business and help your personal life. Joe.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Good.
Late night last night, but
yeah, election night last night. So we're all a little tired today.
A little bit tired.
Well, that's good. That's good. Everything, you look pleased.
Very pleased. Very pleased.
Good. Well, tell me what's new for those of you who are watching. This is Joe, so I'm going to have him fill you in a little bit about what he does, and then we're going to get into some different things going on with him.
I've worked for Brentwood Bank for 26 years, and everything from ran a branch for 10 and have been mainly doing business development and corporate banking for the last 15 years or so. And the bank is growing significantly. We just opened our Wexford office in March, and it's doing very well. It was we can't call ourselves the Bank of the South Hills anymore, though. We have to call ourselves the Bank of Pittsburgh because it's in Wexford and the North Hills, and we have a tremendous amount of customers up there. So to be able to do their full banking and have a branch up there is a very good strategic move on our part to move forward.
And it's a beautiful area.
It is. It's a very growing area too.
Yeah. So how does it feel to have another branch? Because now, what's your position within the bank?
Commercial banking officer. And it's basically helping all of the commercial lenders as well as the business development and just kind of as a team work together and try to help the business community be able to develop and give them that financial advice and help that they need. And
so how many branches do you have now?
6 branches. We have the 4 in the South Hills, and then we also have a Beaver branch that's up off the main drag up there, and the thought process there was with all the development going up there with the cracker plant, it was a good move, and we've always been up in that area as well too.
Well, good. I have an art show up there, and so
there you go.
If I need my personal banking done, I can stop by. It's convenient. It's really what matters.
Yeah, it's all that matters.
And so what sets Brentwood Bank apart?
Probably the biggest part is, and every bank will say service, but it's that one-on-one advisor that you're giving. We're starting a new campaign on Welcome Home, and that Welcome Home program is focusing on our communities with our employees and our clients within that community. With our employees, we're giving that passion and working together and dedication to each other as well as our clients. And then with our clients, the biggest part is being able to be that advisor, being that go-to person, telling them what the things in the banking industry are up and coming, what are things to think about, what things to be careful about. There's a lot of banking fraud going on right now. And what we have done is Jen Hisdorf, a coworker of mine, and myself, we're going around to the communities and kind of screaming from the hilltops that especially businesses need to be more focused on cybersecurity, worrying about their bank fraud. There's a lot of things going on, and we've done some education sessions, and we continue to do them. In fact, we just did one at the Chamber.
We did just do one. Yes, you came in. We're doing a new municipal advancement series, and basically we're going into all our municipalities and we're getting experts like yourself together to help educate municipalities on how they can help themselves, and that helps protect their citizens, their community. And so talk a little bit about what you discussed there for those who are listening who maybe weren't present.
Probably the biggest part is that being aware of what's going on in your account every day. Unfortunately, the hackers are really, really good, and they know a lot of the different things that they're going through on how your processes are put in place, and they're taking advantage of manipulating those processes. We've had clients that had their vendors send emails to them saying, hey, I decided not to work at this bank anymore. I'm going to move to this other bank. Please change my account number. Well, our client, sometimes in a rush, very busy days, they don't verify that over the phone, verify it in some other way than that email. And sure enough, they change the account numbers and then send electronic transactions to them.
And it's not who they think it is.
Exactly. And what ends up happening is the vendor and the client then get together and say, hey, I didn't get my payment yet. And sure enough, then it all comes crashing that they realize what they did. That's one of the things. There's a lot of check fraud going on right now in the banking industry, where people are making checks or whitewashing checks, which is just changing the payee's name and then putting a new person's name in. Most times it's a fraudulent person or a fake ID or something on an account, and they go and cash that check and then close the account a few days later. So
it's like that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio.
to be honest with you, it really is.
Yeah.
It's amazing some of the things they have done. Now they're going into ACH or electronic funds transfers, where they're just coming into your account and taking money.
And then they can take whatever they want, because it's
Absolutely.
that easy through ACH.
I gave an example in the program that I have a client that had 4 transactions in 4 straight days of $7,000 and some odd dollars come out of their account, and it said Discover Company. And when you're looking at that, my client calls me, who's this Discover Company? And they're putting money into my account. I said, oh, that's your Discover card program. I don't accept Discover. And, light bulb went off.
Yeah.
My heart dropped for the client. That's $28,000 that client lost. Because for businesses and the bank regulations, after 48 hours, the likelihood of you getting that money back is
drops significantly.
Significantly. So it's really a scary time. There's a lot of things that banks put in place. My suggestion to people watching this is that if you have a banker, talk to them about positive pay. Positive pay for businesses is almost a must.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason why we're going to all of these different programs and talking about fraud and fraud prevention, especially protecting your funds, protecting your bank. Because remember, if you lose that kind of significant money, it could really hurt your company and
Absolutely.
sometimes put you under. So we have some things in place to be able to help our clients, and positive pay is probably the biggest process that people should seriously consider.
Well, and the Chamber uses positive pay, and though it may seem like something at first that's, I have to stop what I'm doing and do positive pay, it really, knowing that we're protecting ourselves, it's like everything's using two-factor, and positive pay is a lot like that. So every time I'm logged into my email, it sends me a code. Every time I do everything else, it sends me a code, and that's just email. So I think finances, definitely, we want that second time to go, okay, everything looks good here.
Absolutely. So that's one of the things that the bank is doing. That we're focusing on our employees and working together as a dedicated team to our customers, our clients. We're trying to be advisors to them, help them in any of their questions or needs that they have, and then most important, being involved in our communities. We need to really back that up. If we're saying we're a community bank, then we need to make sure that we're involved in the community. And as you know, I take that to heart.
Yes.
It's one of the things that I've truly believed in, and a lot of the people that I work with definitely are involved in some type of programs elsewhere as well.
Well, that's good. And I do have to say that I go to the bank branch. I'm one of those who still goes into the doors and says hi. And
they
over
love seeing
here
you,
in the
man.
South Fayette branch, they have a great team, always warm to welcome. We know each other very well. I've helped them win a horse race at a night at the races. So we're like friends. And that's really nice with bankers, especially when something goes wrong or something, you have somebody you can really trust. That's
Absolutely.
not just somebody behind a teller screen who's...
And that trust is important, because if the trust is not there, then you don't have a relationship with a person. I mean, I've had clients over the last 26 years that I've helped them establish their business. And now just this week, I had 2 of them that I've had clients that are probably at least 15, if not 20-year clients that are having conversations about considering selling their businesses. And it's very fulfilling to myself that they're getting to that stage. It also means that I'm pretty old in regards to banking. And happy birthday.
Thank you.
You're
welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate
You're
that.
welcome.
You're a little late on that. I thought that would be the first words out of your mouth.
No,
today.
I'd like to take my time and ease into it. We'll have Mitch sing.
Oh, okay.
Today,
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
And what about advice for businesses? What are they not, especially let's say our small, mid-sized business or a new business? What would you say are like the top 3 things that they should do with their business that they might not be taking advantage of?
Well, Rocco actually mentioned this on your program. Make sure that you have a good accountant that you trust. Make sure you have a good banker. Make sure you have a good attorney. And most important, have that insurance advice as well. If you have those 4 core people, truly I think that's almost a team in itself that you have that's working for you. And then you need to have relationships with them. It's not just call them when you need them. Call them and update them on what's going on in your life. Well, call them and make sure that, does this make sense what I'm doing? That's what we're here for. We're your advocates on working through those things that the businesses deal with.
Yeah, and a lot of business owners, say you're in retail and you're selling candies or wood furniture, just to mention a few of my members there at the top of my mind. They know candies and wood furniture. Do they know the back end of being a CPA? Not necessarily. The back end of banking, the back end of the legal process? Not necessarily. So they might not have that expertise, but you guys are able to provide it and make sure that their business is safe and take that burden off. Because as a small retailer, it's a lot. It's a lot. You're running 24 hours a day, there's a lot going on at all times that you have to take care of.
What's the most important part of a business? Running your business, not worrying about the stuff behind the scenes. That's why you have to depend on those different people that truly need to be in your corner at all times. So.
Yeah. So where do you see Brentwood Bank in 5-10 years?
Just to be honest with you, continue to do what we're doing. It was a great opportunity that we jumped on board a few years ago to consider looking into the North Hills, kind of branch out. And we have so many clients, as I mentioned, up in the North Hills that it was definitely it was that time to start branching and maybe growing a little bit. We don't want to grow too fast. But at the same time, we want to be able to fulfill what our goals are, and that's continue to be a community bank of Pittsburgh. Be that go-to bank, be that go-to banker that can help businesses as well as helping buy residential homes, help people with their checking accounts, help them save money, have that full financial picture plan. That's probably the biggest goal that we have with this new program we have with Welcome Home. It's being involved in the community more and being that advisor to our customers while having a little fun at the bank as well.
Well, that's good. And you do a lot of community work. So
I do.
Let's talk about that.
All right.
So what kind of community work have you done this year? I have one on my mind that I'll bring up.
You have one on mind. I'm a little scared on what yours is, but obviously everybody in the social media and all my friends are sick and tired of hearing about the chili cook-off we had earlier in the month in October.
I have to get the sign.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah, see.
So that was very successful. The Bridgeville South Fayette Rotary is something that I joined shortly before we opened the branch in the Bridgeville South Fayette area, and it's very fulfilling. Their motto is service above self. And it's not a networking group. It's not, granted, you make a lot of friends there in the group, and it does sometimes open up to business. But the whole goal there is to serve your community and do things for your community. We have 2 major fundraisers, the chili cook-off and a trivia night in the spring, and all of that money goes towards our community. We've done many things over the years. We always support the food bank that's in the area. We support Meals on Wheels that you are a board member of. We've supported the EMS. We're actually, this is something we're looking at this year. We're these emergency bags for the police officers. And it's, if they run into a circumstance where a family is let's say they had a fire or something happened, that there's a couple blankets. It's just all the emergency things at the last minute you think you wish you could have. And we're going to try over the next few years to have a bag for every police officer car in South Fayette and Bridgeville. We're really excited about the program. It's something that the Rotary District, Western Pennsylvania, has given as an idea, and it's something that we are very, we think it will be a really good thing to be able to support the police officers in those times of need for families or people that are struggling at that one moment in time.
Sure.
We also did the fun things like the Bridgeville Library had a trail. They wanted to do a story walk, and instead of putting the little almost like campaign tents in the trail, we actually raised money as well as applied for a grant through the Rotary Foundation to get money for them to be able to make it a very nice program where they'll last. They'll be able to have those stories and then rotate them on a monthly basis. So that was a fun program.
I have taken my son through when we read a book.
Yeah, exactly.
Really cute.
So it promotes fitness, it promotes literacy, and then family time.
Yeah, because
three
sometimes,
most important things.
Especially I have 2 little boys, and they don't always want to go on the trail. They want to be on the playground, and I'm like, well, I want to go on the trail. Mm-hmm. So it helps me to get them on the trail to go walk around, and then they have something fun to do.
Absolutely. Get some of that energy out too.
Get the energy out. It's the hardest job Mom has.
So the Rotary program has been very fulfilling of the different things. One of the other programs that I'm heavily involved in, of course, is the borough.
Yes.
Bridgeville Borough Council it'll be going on 10 years coming up now. It's been a great thing to help the community in some of the goals that they've had. We've had humongous flood issues over the years, and we're just taking little bits and pieces and trying to improve that. We had some big storms recently, and all the work we did down at McLaughlin Park is now, you could see that it wasn't affecting the people on Baldwin Street as much. Very fulfilling to see that happen, but we need to go further. There's a lot of things in town that we need to make sure that water doesn't back up, and our borough manager, Joe Carr, has done a significant, it's amazing the things he can do in regards to grant writing and being able to apply those. We're actually in the process of applying for all the permits and everything through the DEP to be able to have a flood mitigation program that's behind where the Dairy Delight is, going back towards the fire department. There's going to be a major construction going there, and that's going to be able to help develop the north part of town. Because of that flood mitigation, hopefully it'll be able to take care of getting it out of the flood zone, which then business owners hopefully will want to invest in that part of the town. So we're really excited.
The Chamber building sits right near there. So.
Yeah,
we're excited for your plans.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, of course, we had a meeting, Collier Township in Bridgeville, with Anita Kulik and Devlin Robinson. And talking about that little bottleneck that happens right in front of your office.
Right there.
And we had the meeting right there so we could see the traffic. And it was really good conversations. The township manager at Collier, George Messino, and Joe Carr at Bridgeville, they got together and put a plan together from things that we actually were talking about this back, I want to say 2015.
I think it's been talked about for a very long time.
Very long time.
At least by the public.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've actually met quite a few times, and we have engineering work done, and we put together a plan and estimate costs and all of these different things to be able to submit to the state and submit to Devlin and Representative Kulik, and we're excited where it's going. It's a long time, a process, but it's starting, and that's the exciting part that I have with that aspect as well.
Yeah, we would love to see that. The chamber, obviously we are affected by the traffic there in that situation. And my assistant, she's new and she's still afraid to pull out into the traffic there and goes all the way in a big circle. I, on the other hand, I've been doing it so long.
Yeah, you get used to it.
I know the timing.
Yeah,
we're good. So if you ever see me out there trying to pull out of the chamber, please let me out. That would be great. That'd be so much better. And the flood, we have been affected by the flooding, and I can say we haven't been affected in several years. So we think even that's helped in our area.
Let's knock on wood, please.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
Every time we heard a thunderstorm for years.
Oh, it's
today the day.
Yeah, a lot of the council people of Bridgeville are all, okay, here comes a big storm, and we start driving around seeing how things are, and just being in communication with our borough managers, say, all right, what do you see or what are you hearing? It's a lot of work, and devastation results whenever something like that has happened, and hopefully we can work on mitigating it, that probability is going to be minimal over time. So,
well, and I like Bridgeville. I mean, the chamber initially started in the Bridgeville area. We were the Greater Bridgeville Chamber of Commerce, and we've since grown.
Boy, what changes, huh?
I know, and we're coming up on 100 years here in either 2027 or 2028. We should have
That's exciting.
Yeah, so we're going to do a big to-do. There might be a parade. I don't know. I don't know if I can get into all that, but we're going to find out.
You just want to be the Grand Marshal.
I do. I just want to ride in a car. Wait. No, I'd rather ride in like the front of the fire truck, I think.
Oh, okay.
That'd be fun. But yeah, I mean, Bridgeville, that's where we started. We've grown significantly since then. But Bridgeville, I walk through town and I see everybody I know and everybody, I mean, I hate to say it's kind of, and I brought this up with Jenny D, it's like a Hallmark movie. You run in, you walk in here, you know everybody in this. You walk over here, you know everybody here. And it's happy, I think, for the majority. The majority are very happy people. So it's really a great little community.
Yeah, when we moved there back in 1997, and we lived in our first home, and when we were looking for another home, it took us 15 years to find the second one because we didn't want to move out of Bridgeville. It's that small town approach in a pretty large area of South Hills, and that's our goal, is to make it a walkable community, so then we have the ability of continuing to keep that approach. So it's getting there. I'm excited. There's a lot of stuff. Yes,
lots of different plans in different areas. So, and Joe made me the judge at the chili cook-off too for the Rotary.
You did well.
Thank you. It wasn't as spicy as I thought it was going to be. There was a couple that had a lot of zing to them.
That's because we gave you the non-spicy categories.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I'm not a spicy person.
Although I thought it was quite funny halfway through, and I didn't think you were going to get through.
I would have to say I can't eat chili for like a while. It's going to be a while.
Ironically, I had it for dinner last night.
Did you really?
Well, I don't have time to eat the chili and going around to eat the different chilies. I'm running around like crazy.
People are trying to give me samples before. They're trying to get me to eat it after. I'm like, I'm good for now. I'm good.
And we've had past judges that have finished their chili, and then, all right, which categories did I score on? And then they go and try the other chilies. So those are some diehard
chili lovers.
Yes.
Yeah, there were a couple I could have eaten like an entire bowl full, and there were a couple, well, you know. But it was really nice to see how many community members, how many businesses got involved to kind of make it a really fun day.
It's a lot of work, but that's 99% of the reason we do it is because it's an awesome community event.
Beautiful weather, too.
Oh, we got so lucky. I have one of the Rotarians. He is always nervous about the weather. He goes, do we need to consider moving it indoors? I'm like, no, half the reason why it's a great event is because it's outdoors. It's kind of like that one last thing you do before you're stuck in the house for the next 4 months. So.
Yeah, and you're supposed to eat chili when it's colder out,
right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Nice cold weather.
But it was in the 70s, almost 80 degrees that day.
It was a very nice day. It was gorgeous out. So I couldn't have been happier.
No, I was too. It was the most people we've had at the event. It was 738 people.
Wow.
Is our unofficial tally. But it was a great event. It just continues to grow more and more. And I keep pushing that we should try and get more people to make chili, to make it even bigger. And everybody's all nervous because where you put them. And of course, I had already ideas when we were sitting there waiting for the event to happen. And they're all going, all right, well, we might give in to that. But
You could expand that. So
oh, easy.
very easy.
We
You have a
can
lot of room
push it
there.
down to the soccer field down over the hill.
Oh,
We
yeah.
can put 100 chilies.
Million chilies. Let's think big.
All right.
And so what else? You're involved, obviously, Bridgeville Council, the Rotary,
Rotary.
very heavily involved in the chamber as
I was going
always.
to say, you won't let
He's always,
me pull
he's
away.
always around. No, of course not. It's where you started.
That's right. That's where you started too.
I know. Somebody interviewed me years ago, and he said I ran a board meeting and did not actually get interviewed.
Yeah.
This was my second interview, second or
Yep.
first?
Yep.
Second interview, and my interview was in front of the entire board. Like,
Well-
how much pressure is that to walk in? They're like, everyone is here. I'm like, hi, everyone. I don't know.
11
at all.
board members, and she came, sat right at the head, and just started conducting a meeting.
I'm like, and here's what we're gonna do.
You had my vote after, as soon as you started passing things out. I'm like, oh, she was ready. So
Yeah. And here I am 7 years later. So thanks, Joe, for the hire. It's been, I'm sure I made him, a little
It's-
more than frustrated at times.
No, never.
But I really enjoy that. So
Good.
yeah. So what? Anything else for our businesses out there in terms of banking? We got sidetracked by your community
Yeah,
work.
there you go. It just, again, if you want to work with Brentwood Bank, probably the biggest part to talk about is making sure you're communicating with the banker. And myself and my coworkers are happy to help. Always with those things. That's what we're getting paid to do, is to work with the businesses, advise them, give them different experiences that we've had with other clients that are similar. And if you have another bank, just make sure that you're talking to your banker constantly. It's probably the most important thing to do, is to make sure that you're up to speed with what's going on in the environment of banking, making sure that that you're not being taken advantage of, especially with all the cybersecurity that's going on right now.
I'm a big supporter of cybersecurity.
Yeah, absolutely.
You get dinged a couple of times. You're like,
yeah,
gotta
I
make
was
sure
at the
everything's secure.
Devlin Robinson's event last night, and I had 2 other municipality leaders come up to me and say how great that event was. So keep up. I thought when you mentioned having something like this for focusing on the municipalities as one little series, I thought it was a great idea, because they have their certain groups in the county, but they don't have something focused just on their areas. And I thought that was a great idea.
I think that's important, and I think that having it quick, having it be local, having it something that they can just come in, learn something, and get back out. They're some of the busiest people I know.
Yeah.
So we'll continue to see what topics we bring up, but I plan on doing those quarterly throughout the year.
Well, and it's funny, you've actually brought communities together, and now they're talking more.
And that's
a
good.
perfect example is Bridgeville had hosted Oakdale and North Fayette over and talked about all the flood mitigation things that we have done.
Yes.
And they, especially Oakdale, needs to put in place because of all the floods that they've had to deal with. So it's been a really good experiment on exposing them to different things, but also bringing them all together to talk.
That's good, and maybe that'll be our next topic.
There you go.
Flood mitigation, definitely needed in the Pittsburgh
I can't
area.
be an expert on that one.
No, we'll bring in some experts.
There you go.
And you're changing your colors? Is that true? Have I seen that, or are you dabbling?
It's just
Like,
a
what's-
dabble. It's a fresh look. Obviously, we can't lose the teal. I mean, that everybody says that's what my color of my blood is. It's teal.
Teal?
Because I
good.
am that ingrained in Brentwood Bank.
But you don't have a teal suit on.
No, I don't. No, I don't think, I don't look good in teal.
No?
No.
Not your color?
No. But our marketing director has wanted to put a fresh look on I mean, you noticed it.
I did.
Just so, and everybody has
I have
made
a
comments
marketing
about
mind,
that. So,
What's that? What's happening over
Yeah.
there? What's going on with the logo?
but it goes along with our campaign on Welcome Home. and trying to be that community bank, being that community leader to push some of our knowledge and being able to help the community in a variety of different ways, as well as the team that we have together is really dedicated, and I'm actually excited. We've had a lot of fun over the last, especially the last 6 months, with a lot of the different things that we have done with the new branch and a lot of the exciting things that we have in the future coming.
Good. Well, thank you for coming on today.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
It's an honor.
And it's his birthday, so we had to have him on today. And we look forward. We have the Excellence Awards coming up this week, tomorrow night, so I don't know if this will air before then, but the Excellence Awards are coming up. Our big holiday event is coming up on December 10th at the club at Nevillewood. We expect over 200 people for that, and then we'll get started in 2025.
Let's not push the whole year out the door.
Well,
right?
that means my events are over for this
okay.
year, and I feel like there's a gap, but there's really not much of a gap at all. So December 11th is my day. Everybody send me fuzzy slippers, and I'll be done for the year.
Good.
So, all right, Joe. Well, thanks for coming on today.
You're welcome.
Thank you, everyone, for watching the Southwestern PA Business Podcast, hosted through the Southwest Regional Chamber of Commerce. Thanks, Joe, so much for coming on today, sharing everything about Bridgeville, banking, and good deeds. Have a good afternoon. This is Mandy Pryor.